Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Happy Saturday. Oh, it is a beautiful day in Indianapolis today. It is so pretty outside. Let's do a little time and temperature check. I'm actually vlogging early today. It is currently 3:49 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. And the current temperature is, let's see. Ooh, I don't even need this hoodie. I don't. I could have a t-shirt on it. It's nice outside today. And it is 59 degrees and sunny, as you can see by the shadow, the fading shadow in the background. And yeah, we have literally, Alex and I just like laid in bed for the last 2 hours. And he was looking at TikToks and I was watching YouTube videos for like the last 2 hours, which is something that I rarely do. I rarely just like watch YouTube video after YouTube video. I don't know, but today I just kind of like, so I got up earlier. We both kind of did. And then I like got up and brushed my teeth and washed my face. And then Alex had gotten up and then I came downstairs and I did my prayers and meditations and stuff. And then I was sitting out here and then I came back inside and I was like, where are you at? And he's like, I'm back upstairs in bed. So I went upstairs and he was watching TikToks and laughing and stuff. So I was like, well, I'm going to lay down for just a little bit longer. And then I just like laid there and I was like laying on my side, just like watching him laugh and stuff. And I fell asleep. And then I woke up like an hour later. And I like reached over to look and see like, you know, what time it was and stuff. And then I was kind of like going through my phone and looking at my social media stuff and whatever. And so somehow I was just talking to Nikki about this. So she was like, what are you watching on YouTube? So she was like, that's so funny to me that that's what you watch. So I got on YouTube. Well, I was looking for something. I can't remember what I was looking for. Somebody had mentioned something to me. Oh, I know what it was. So somebody commented on, either sent me a direct message, or I think somebody sent me like a direct message to an article or to like a YouTube video or something about Ruby Franke and something about the divorce being final or something. Ruby Franke, who is the family vlogger that was the center of the documentary called The Devil in the Family. And so I like went to YouTube to find this video. And when I pulled up YouTube, the first thing that came up was this, I can tell you guys my history of what I just looked at, was this American Idol video. Hold on a second. How do you go in and look at your history? I never know how to do this. Okay, history. Okay, so it was this American Idol video called Pianist Ends Up Auditioning for American Idol. So I think all of these things get recommended to me, all these singing competitions like American Idol, Britain's Got Talent, all these things, because that's like a lot of what I watch. I don't know why, I just sit there and I cry at their auditions. But I watch a lot of these like singing competition, which is funny because I don't watch like American Idol or anything anymore. I don't think I've ever watched like an entire season of like Britain's Got Talent or anything like that. But I watch all the auditions of them. And so it was this girl that auditioned. She sang a Pink song. And then she had this like friend of hers that was in this band. I thought it was like from Right Now. I was like, is American Idol on right now? Because they keep on coming up for me. But it was from 10 months ago. And so then she had this guy that was playing piano with her. And so at the end they asked her, they said, or they asked him, they said, do you sing too? Or like, because he's in this band, and they were like, what's your part in the band? And he was like, lead guitarist, lead vocals. And they're like, oh, you sing too? And he was like, yeah. And so they said, do you want to, why am I telling you guys this whole video about American Idol? It's so silly. And so, they were like, do you want to like, you know, give us a little something? Like, they didn't really even say audition, I don't think. But anyway, so he like sang this like original song of his, and then he like made it through to Hollywood. But then I'm like, this was 10 months ago, and I'm like, well, did he go to Hollywood? Did he make it through to I don't know anything about it, because then I get real intrigued on it, you know? And that's kind of how I fall down the rabbit hole. So then I'm like looking at all these American Idol videos. So that's what I was doing. But then it came up for me, this like 7 minutes of RuPaul from RuPaul's Drag Race, like laughing hysterically. Drag Race queens making RuPaul lose it for 7 minutes straight. And then I watched 5 minutes of the funniest things said on RuPaul's Drag Race Drag Race queens with the funniest confessionals. I watched all these like Drag Race videos and just sat there and laughed in bed. I rarely do that. I rarely just sit and watch like all these like YouTube videos. So anyway, yeah, like the stuff that I cover on my drama channel, I think that people have this idea that like I watch a lot of that stuff. I don't watch that stuff. I did back in the day, like when I first started covering it, when they were like putting videos out, but a lot of their videos would point to things that I was going to talk about in my drama video and whatever. Today I really don't, unless it's something that like I'm looking into, like to cover for my drama channel. Yeah, but I don't really watch a lot of those people today. I watched this video the other day. I actually talked about this in my drama video. Did I talk about this yesterday? Because I was kind of surprised when I looked at it. I was like, I'm surprised that this video hasn't got, where is it at? Oh, I watched this short the other day that got recommended to me. Eugenia Cooney's mom spills her makeup. It's while they were at Disney World. I didn't really understand it. Sometimes I watch these things that people put shorts up for, and do any of them like not make sense to you? It's just literally they're packing to leave Disney World, and her mom like spills her makeup while she's packing. You can't even see it. It's not on camera. She's like sitting there talking to the camera. She's like on a live stream, and her mom's like packing stuff up. And all the comments are like, and I know like the history of Eugenia Cooney and her mom. Like I'm not like, I know all that stuff, right? But in this specific like short, I didn't really think that like, because everybody in the comments was like, she's afraid of her mom and all this kind of stuff. I was like, how did you get this from this short? Like, her mom's literally like, I'll clean it up. And she's like, no, Mom, I've got it. It's like, I didn't really understand it. But for some reason, I don't know, probably because I've talked about Eugenia Cooney. Where was the video that I watched the other day? Sometimes, like, depending on what channel, like, I don't, you know, like, if have it on, like, my Peter Monn channel, like, if I switch accounts over to like my vlog, then my history is of course obviously completely different. Here's my history. What was the video that I watched the other day? Where is it at? I don't know which channel I watched it on. But anyway, it was that video about, I don't really know these guys. The only ways that I knew them, because when I started watching I was like, I had heard of them. Jack's Gap. Do you guys remember those twins from back in the day? I think they were kind of like done with YouTube by the time that I like started on YouTube. But I remembered them, and when I was watching this video, it was because, I think it was because of Tyler Oakley. Like I think they had done some videos with Tyler Oakley, and maybe Michael Buckley, or maybe I saw them like in something at VidCon or something. I don't know. I don't think I've ever watched like a video of theirs or something. If I have, I don't remember. But I don't really know anything about them. But the one twin, Jack, who started the channel, he did this video called, like, What Happened to Jack's Gap. What was interesting was, I saw it come up today. When I watched it the other day, it had been out, like, for, like, 16 hours or 24 hours or whatever. Here, I'll just pull it up right here. What is it? Jack's Gap. Because he explains in there the reason he started it was because it was his gap year. Here it is. Here's the video right here. What Happened to Jack's Gap. And it's sitting at, oh my God, 243,000 views. I swear I looked at it earlier today because it came up again. It was like at 100 and something. Maybe it's like just getting like mass amounts of views. It is such a well done video. Like I didn't know about these guys at all. So it's about how he started his channel, and then his twin comes on and does the channel with him. And then he talks in there about like how they started it as a business, and really like the majority of what they did was before you could even really make money on YouTube, before the partner program existed, which I thought was so interesting, that they were doing these huge projects and weren't even making really any money off of it, except for kind of like sponsorships maybe and things like that. But then it goes into talk about how his brother leaves to go to school in the United States. Where does he? Parsons School of Architecture, Parsons School of Art and Design for architecture. But then they like join up later, and he becomes really interested in like the climate and environmental issues, and he starts this business called Earth Right or something like that. And it's like this video, it's like where people are sharing their stories about it, and he gets to meet with like world leaders and stuff. And then at the end of it, he talks about he's like bought this farm, and he's like, because he got kind of like burnt out on the climate stuff, even though he still really believes in it, he runs this business now. And so he like moved out into the country to like live a sustainable life on this farm. It's super, super interesting, but I think that what was the most interesting to me about it was that it's really about, like, he was like 19 or 20, I think, when he started his channel or something like that. And I mean, he goes in there and talks about like how his brother was affected by it and didn't really want to be on YouTube and whatever. But it's really about this guy like just chasing his dreams in the moment, wherever they're taking him. And then it's like one thing went to the next, led him to where he's at today. It's really interesting to watch and to see like where just chasing your dreams or following your dreams can take you. That it started with him with just doing these YouTube videos, and then it ended up with like him and his brother starting this business, and his brother going to architectural school. And his brother does like all of this like environmental architecture stuff, and how they got really interested in like seeing other people around the world and how they were, you know, affected by climate and environment and things like that. And then like how it led him to where he's at today. You know, I say in my videos a lot, like I believe there's kind of like this blue thread or, you know, through life that kind of weaves you from one thing to the next. It's like when I look at all the things in my life, like, you know, like even from my using to getting sober, and then where that led me to this, to meeting this person that then led here to meeting that, you know, on and on and on. It's so crazy when I think about like how I'm here now. Even sitting on a vlog, like it's all like in the moment how certain things, you know, happened. And it's crazy to me. You know, it's like, I don't know, it's like when I started on YouTube, consistently was on my booktube channel, which this May will be 9 years. It seems like surreal that it's been 9 years. But anyway, but the way that that started was because I wrote my book in 2014. And so, you know, at that time, my like publisher and agent was like, you have got to like, you know, you've got to like do this for marketing, you've got to do that for marketing and all this kind of stuff, things I didn't even understand. And so she was like, do you know what booktube is? I mean, this is before TikTok existed and stuff. And I was like, hey, how are you? And I was like, I have no idea what booktube is. And so I like started looking into booktube, and I was like, there's a whole community of people that are talking about books. Like, I love books, you know? And at that time, I didn't really have a lot of people to talk about books to, except for Tanya. And Tanya and I read some of the books, same books together, but then she's got like, she doesn't read like the post-apocalyptic stuff, none of that. So like, I have all this, Tanya has all of this, she reads a lot of romance and whatever. And then like in the middle is like where we kind of cross over and read some stuff together. So even though we would talk about books, I didn't really have that many people to talk about books with. And so when I started on booktube, or when I started watching booktube videos, I just was, you know, I mean, that was 2 years before I started my channel. And I was, well, yeah, probably. God, it's crazy to think that, so my book came out in 2014. When people ask about the book, just so you know, it's called The Before, Now, and After Then. Do not buy it online. It's like astronomically priced, like on Amazon and thrift books and things like that. People have sent me like screenshots where it's like, I don't know if you looked it up how much it would be. But it's like, I don't know who's selling it, but I'm not making any money off that book, and not that that matters. But a couple years ago, because people were asking where to buy it, I read the entire thing on my booktube channel. I think that there is a playlist if you go to, if you want to hear me read it. I think I read like three or four chapters at a time. Let me look it up really quick. Because people ask me, this is actually probably one of the most asked questions that I get. People are like, where can I find your book? Playlists. Yeah, if you go to my playlist, there's 17 videos on the before, now, and after then. Maybe that's why people don't know what it is. I go in and, that's the landscaping manager, and she's been walking all over this neighborhood all day today, and she's like looking at people's stuff. I'm like, what is she doing? Like, she's like, I can tell she's like mentally taking notes. But I go in, like the first one, I think it's like the first chapter and me explaining it. Then it's chapters 2 and 3. So I have all the chapters, and I read it out loud. So if you guys want to go see it, it's on my booktube channel. I did that so that people could listen to it for free, and they didn't have to buy it. It used to be on Audible. I think I still have, well, let's see if I still have it on Audible. I think once you buy it, you have it forever, don't you? Hold on a second. Library. It's not on Audible anymore. The before, now. here it is. Title details. Here it is on Audible. But you can't buy it anymore. So anyway. But so she had told me all this stuff she wanted me to do for marketing. Like I said, I didn't really understand a lot of it. And so, to like create the world of the author. And so, she was like, so that's how I got exposed to BookTube. And then I started watching all these BookTubers. And I just was like so intrigued with it, And so, then I started my BookTube channel. And then just like, later that year was when I started the drama channel, and it's just like one thing led to another. And, yeah, it's just like crazy to think now that I have like 7 channels and, and that is even interesting story of how like the book even came about was that, my husband and I were at a fashion show here in Indianapolis. We used to get invited to all this stuff. And, well, we still kind of do, but we just don't go to it as much anymore. But, oh, by the way, here's my new Birkenstocks that I bought that I was talking about yesterday. Anyway, we were at this fashion show, and I was talking to her. I met her through this other woman that I knew. And so I was like standing outside. There was like this area like outside in between like these 2 venues where the fashion show was or something. Like I can't remember where we were standing, but anyway. And she wasn't a smoker, and I was out there and I was smoking, and she said, could I ask you for a cigarette? She's like, I haven't smoked since college. And I was like, yeah, sure. And so I gave her a cigarette. And I remember she just like took this drag off this. She's just a really cool woman. And so, she's like Alex's age, maybe a little bit older than Alex. But anyway, so I can just see her standing there, like, taking this drag off this cigarette. And she's like, this is so good. She literally took, like, 2 or 3 drags off the cigarette and then was, like, done with it, And, but we started talking, and I asked her, like, we talked about, like, what she did. And, like, I knew her a little bit, but, like, we were really talking that night. And she said that she had been a fashion merchandising major at IU, and then she was working like in retail management, but she just was bored. She didn't want to do retail management anymore. And I said, what are you interested in? She's like, I'm really interested in like textile design and things like that. And so we kind of kept in touch, and then she ended up going to I can't remember where she went. I think she went to I think it was Nigeria maybe. And she was working with, like, indigenous women on helping them start their own brands of, like, weaving textiles and things like that, and how to, like, set up business models and things like that. And so she was going all over and helping, like, women and setting this up. It was really cool what she was doing. And she had, like, started this, like, business from doing that, like, helping women. Like, it was all, like, specific about indigenous women and helping them set up their own businesses to protect them from, like, being like, like getting the most for their businesses and having their businesses be protected and things like that. But it was all around like textiles and designs, because that's what she was interested in. And then she ended up like going to, anyway, she met her husband, who's now her ex-husband, and got married, and she started this boutique publishing company, and she asked me if I wanted to write a book for her because I had like thrown an idea at her one time, and I was like, yeah. And so she contacted me, and she's like, I would love for you to write a book for me. And she was like, but it's got to be done in like a month. And I was like, what? So she's like, it's got to be done in like a month. And so I was talking to a friend of mine from high school. I had all these different ideas for what I was going to write. And obviously, I mean, I still to this day have like, 1,000 ideas. And this will be interesting because I think some people probably haven't heard this story before. Other people will be like, Peter, we've heard the story 1,000 times. But I was talking to a friend of mine from high school about, she's actually the one that introduced me to Goodreads, because I had never heard of Goodreads before. And so she's like, how are you not on Goodreads as a reader? And so so we were talking, and I was telling her the story about this guy that I met in high school. She was actually the one that found out about this guy, Rusty, that I had this crush on in high school. And he was only at our school for like 6 months. And so in my book, there's this scene that happens where Rusty gives Danny, the main character, a piece of gum. And that actually happened to me. This Rusty guy gave me this piece of gum. And then I just became, like, enamored with this Rusty guy. Never knew if he was, like, gay or straight. Never knew anything about him. And so, So I was telling her about that, and she was like, I think you should write a book about, like, the four of us that were friends and call it, like, Freaks, because they always called us freaks in high school. And I was like, I want to do more of, like, I don't know, like, I want to do some kind of, like, aligning it with, like, my coming out story, and I wasn't, like, out at that time and stuff like that. And so we were talking about that, and, so I knew I wanted to write about, like, this coming out story, and I think today, if I was going to go back, I probably wouldn't have written, like, a young adult book as my first, but that was what I wrote, because that's what I was reading a lot of John Green, Robin Schneider. I remember I read this book. It was probably one of the very first Audible books I ever listened to. It was so good. I was reading, I wish I could go back in here. I don't know how I would find it in my library. Finished. If I go back down here all the way at the very end, oh my God, so many books I've read. It's probably one of the very first books. Some of these books that I listened to, some of these young adult books at the very beginning. What are the One Woman? The Beginning of Everything. It was the second book I listened to on Audible by Robin Schneider. I was listening to a lot of David Levithan. Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. That was my third book that I ever listened to on Audible. Love Letters to the Dead by Ava DeLario. That was so good. Did you ever read that book? Oh my God, about this girl that was in high school, and her sister died, so she went to a new high school, and then she had to keep a journal, and she was supposed to write it to somebody, so each, like, journal entry is to, like, another famous person, like Marilyn Monroe and Kurt Cobain. It was so fantastically done. This is so, when I sat down today, I didn't think I was going to be going down this rabbit hole, but now I'm kind of interested to see what some of these books were. Every Day by David Levithan. I used to love all of his books. I don't think he's put a book out in for a long time. Naomi and Eli's No Kiss List. I think they made that into a movie. Geography Club by Brent Hardiger. He actually really, really helped me on writing my book. I reached out to Brent Hardiger, and who's the other guy that wrote a lot of, there was all these. I didn't realize I read Eleanor and Park that early. Jay Bell. Jay Bell is the other person I reached out to. And Ellen Hopkins. Ellen Hopkins, who writes all the fantastic, the thick books and prose. And all three of them were just absolutely fantastic. I always tell people, reach out to your mentors and ask them for guidance, and at least one of them will reach out back to you. When Fufu was in college, or before he was going to college, Fufu's, like, dream in high school was that he wanted to design skate parks. And so I was telling him, I was like, we'll look up, like, people that do that. And he did. And, like, he had somebody that reached out to him and, like, was going to offer him an internship. That's not the road that he ended up going down. But I always tell people, reach out to your mentors because they might give you great advice. And at the time, so I had read Geography Club, which they ended up making into a movie. Oh, my God, here's my favorite neighbors. Hey, you.
Where have you been?
Well, I've been all around the world, and we went to Miami for a music festival, and then we went to Mexico for a week after that. Yeah. Yes. You're a smart ass. So we're back.
Good.
And it's spring, and the pool's going to open, and the pickleball courts are going to open, and the tennis courts are going to open.
You play tennis, huh?
I play tennis. I don't play pickleball. Are you looking for tennis people?
Don't know yet. We've got 5 people. That's what we work with. There's a group of 5. We alternate.
For tennis?
There's one guy who's on a photo line right now. Are you interested in playing?
I don't know if I want to necessarily play, like, in a league, but if you ever just want to pick up some night and play, yeah, I would love to.
We play in the morning, though. Can you?
Oh, no. Oh, Lord. I mean, I could if I had to. What time?
Well, in summertime, it's going to be 9 to 11.
Oh!
You are bad.
Do you remember? So I used to do the tennis camps at North Central. Do you remember the?
I know where North Central is.
Yeah, well, they used to do tennis camps every summer.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to say her name but anyway, so because I'm filming right now. But they used to do tennis camps, so I always did the tennis camps there, and then I had tennis camps other places and stuff like that. But we would do conditioning from like 7 to 9, and then we would play till like 11:30. And I did that like every summer. So 9's a little early for me these years. She's laughing at me.
They want to play early before it gets really hot.
Well, that's why I play in the evening.
Yeah.
Because we have lighted courts, see? Everybody's coming down the street to say hi to you.
Everybody's leaving for the evening work here. This is fair.
I know everybody's been coming out now the last couple days because it's so nice.
I know. If you get a little warmer,
Yeah.
just a little.
Well, enjoy your walk.
Well, I'm glad you
See you
enjoyed
later.
your vacation.
Somebody that I know. Oh my God, who did I meet that said something to me? Please don't say it because I'm filming right now and I don't want to stop it. But somebody that I met you and said, did you know that her son owns, and I go, I've known that for a long time. I said, how did you know her? And I said, and they go, how did you learn it? And I said, because I said, well, she had a hoodie on one day that said it. And I said, who was it? Oh, no. I know who it was. Okay, well, I'll have to tell you that later. But my best friend was going there to play euchre with her son. They had a euchre contest there. Yeah, because I was telling her, she's like, I don't know what to get to eat. And I said, well, you love tenderloin. Supposedly they had the best, she's nodding her head. I said, supposedly they had the best tenderloin in Indiana. So she was real excited about that, but then they didn't end up going, so.
Hamburgers is great too.
The what is? Hamburgers.
They're written up on the star for their hamburgers.
Everybody knows that place.
Yeah.
Look at you, proud mama. Well, enjoy your walk, you guys.
I'm glad you're back.
I know, I'm ready for the pool. You better be going to the pool this summer.
Yes.
I'm getting everybody, we're getting all gonna go up there.
Yes.
So their son owns, like, when I say this, somebody in Indianapolis is gonna know. He owns like a really famous restaurant, like bar venue that plays that has music and stuff there. And I didn't know, and so I know the place. Like, there's no way you couldn't know the place. It's like, anybody in Indianapolis knows this place. And so they were walking by one time. This is probably 2 years ago. I think I shared about this on here. And I was talking to her, and she had a hoodie on that said the name of it. And it's kind of like, the place plays like a lot of like hippie bands and stuff like that. So it kind of surprised me that even though she loves that music, it's so weird that like she went to high school with my mom. My mom went to high school. I've told you this, right? And she's like, she didn't know my mom in high school. They went to high school like all 4 years together. She didn't know my mom. They lived like 2 streets apart from each other. I don't know how they didn't know my mom, but their interests are very similar. Like if my mom was still alive today, like, God, it's really weird to think that she'd be like my mom's age. She seems so much younger than that. My mom was born in 43, so she would be 82 right now. Is that right? She'd be 81 turning 82 this year. God, I can't believe that. She seems like she's like 66 or something like that. So anyway, she had this hoodie on one day that said that place. And I said, oh, do you guys go there? And she was like, our son owns it. And I go, what? Well, then we were at patio, and a lot of the industry people in restaurants like are friends with each other, right? And work at multiple restaurants. And so I said something about her. Well, the one server, she doesn't work there anymore, whose husband owns a restaurant here in town, but she's also a server at patio, is their niece. And so somehow it came up, and I was like, did you know? Like, anyway, so, but apparently they're real well known too, because they go up there for lunch all the time and stuff like that. So they're known really, anyway, it's just kind of like a cool story, but it's a really cool local place. And, but yeah. So anyway, the books that I was reading at that time, it was so good to see them. I love sitting out here and seeing people. So I was reading, like, at that time, Love Letters to the Dead was so good, I forgot about that. Every Day, David Levithan, I remember that book. That's about the guy that, like, his name is A or something like that. I don't know how I remember these books. But, like, every day he changes, his soul goes into somebody else. I think there were, like, 2 or 3 in that book. I only read the first one, I think. Oh, so Geography Club, it was about these kids. I don't really remember it. But they couldn't have, like, a gay-straight alliance at their school. So they ended up calling it the Geography Club. And they made it into a movie. It ended up becoming a movie. I read every single one of those books in Brent Hardiger's series. And it takes you all the way through to like when, like, I think the main character's name is Kevin or something like that. I should look and see. If I remember, is it Kevin? This will be so crazy if I see it. Russell. What's the other kid's name? Was it Kevin? No. I don't know, but it takes you all the way through to like when he's married and stuff like that. Yeah, I read them all like right here in a row. Geography Club, The Order of the Poison Oak, double feature, The Elephant of Surprise. Then I read Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska. Well, I listened to them on Audible. Paper Towns, Looking for Alaska by John Green. And then I read that horrible book, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, which John Green like really pushed and said was like the best book of the year, and everybody should read this book, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. The camera stopped. I can't believe I'm at 30 minutes already. That book was one of the worst books I've ever read. I have like 2 of her books, and I don't want to read them. One of them's called Drama Class, and it looks really good. I'll probably maybe try it this summer because I'm back into physical copy reading. But I didn't want to read it because that book was, I felt like it was such a cheat. If you've read that book, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, you don't know what's going on in like the last 5 pages. They kind of like, it's a surprise ending. Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. That was the very first Rainbow Rowell book I ever read, and I absolutely loved it. An Abundance of Catherines. Oh my God. Then I listened to the last night I sang to The Monster by Benjamin Eiler Sines, who is the one that wrote Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Okay, this book, I love Aristotle and Dante, but this book, Last Night I Sang to the Monster, is one of the most fantastic books I've ever read. It's about this kid, and I think he's like 18 or 19 at the time, and he goes to a treatment program. It's like an adult treatment program, and I think he's like a heroin addict. I can't, if either he is or his roommate is, but it's about him in this treatment program. I should read that again, because that was so good. I ended up reading a lot of Benjamin Eiler. He's another one that I reached out to. He and I emailed back and forth for a long time. I found he was a professor, so for those of you that have read, if you reach out to authors, they will reach out. They will respond to you many times. I think it was on this book that I emailed him. I should look and see my emails. But anyway, he was, wherever he was working at the time, whatever university, I found his university email address, and I emailed him, and he emailed me right back. Like, we emailed back and forth for a while. Really, really not. I mean, we had like some kind of like deep emails. Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. Dash and Lily's Book of Dares. That's the one they made into a series, I think. And Invisibility, I don't remember that. Oh, Sammy and Juliana in Hollywood. That was by Benjamin Eiler Sines. That was so good. Oh, My True Love Gave to Me. Okay, so that was the anthology. I thought I read that. I didn't think maybe I read the summer one. That was the Stephanie Perkins anthology. Oh my God, Where Things Come Back by John Corey Whaley. I forgot all about that. Oh, Noggin by John Corey Whaley. Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. That book is very serious. Oh my God, I read Sort of Like a Rock Star. So Matthew Quick wrote Silver Linings Playbook, but he's also written a lot of young adult. Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. What year did that come out? 2015. Oh my God, 10 years ago? Let's go through some of these books and see. The Fifth Wave. Somebody just recommended that to me the other day because of post-apocalyptic stuff. And I was like, I've read that book by Rick Yancey. I think it's a series, but I do not remember reading it at all. What did I end up getting? I didn't or didn't rate it. Oh my God, The Curious Incident and the Dog in the Nighttime. I remember reading that. Landline Attachments by Rainbow Rowell. The Shack by William Young. I remember reading these. It doesn't seem like that was 10 years ago. The Art of Racing in the Rain. Oh my God. I read that in physical copybook, and I think I listened to it. That is probably one of my, have you ever read that book? The Art of Racing in the Rain? If you are a dog owner or a dog lover, you must read The Art of Racing in the Rain. I think it's a movie too, but the book is so much more fantastic. What's the other one? Lily and the Octopus? That one was so good too. Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee. Oh, Beautiful Boy by David Sheff. I wish it told me when I finished these. Well, I could look on Goodreads. Oh, this is when I got into those. Oh, Another Day. I did read the second one in that David Levithan series. This is when I got into the Rhiannon Frater books. Somebody said on I was talking about it, I think it was in my BookTube video, and they said they read the first series, but the spinoff was bad. I heard that. But this is The First Days Fighting to Survive. Oh my God, this is when I read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda before Love, Simon, the movie, ever came out. Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, back then I listened to. Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy. The Life We Bury by Alan Eskins. That book was so good. I said I wasn't going to talk about books on here anymore. Now look, I've totally fallen down the rabbit hole. I'm looking... The Girl in the Red Coat by Kate Hamer. Oh my God, that was about a kidnapping. That book was so good. Oh, The Morning Hours by Paula Trek DeBoard. I forgot how much I love. We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. Sean David Hutchinson is somebody else I reached out to. He was so kind. Oh, Siege by Rhiannon Frater. I did read it. The Girls by Emma Cline. That was based on it was like if one of the women from like the Manson clan had like grown up and like where she would be today. That one was really good. Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Not one of my favorites. Me and Earl and the Dying Girl. I remember I read that during, they used to do Booktubeathon. It was in the summer. The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern. So I don't love the world building books, but that one was fantastically done. I don't know if people would consider that a world building book or not. The Woman in Cabin 10. I'm going to try another Ruth Ware, I think. Dark Matter. Oh my god, that was when I first... Sleeping Giants. I remember reading all these. This is so crazy. Oh, Ready Player One! I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. By Ernest Cline. I'll tell you what. So I don't know a lot about, like, video games and stuff like that, but that book was so talked about at the time on BookTube, Ready Player One, and they ended up making a movie out of it. If you're a video game lover or a pop culture lover, that book, the pop cultural references, you don't even need to like video games. The pop cultural references of Ernest Cline in that book, Ready Player One, are fantastically done. So good. Anyway, so it's weird to think, getting back to what I was saying, that, it's weird to think that, me writing the book led me to BookTube, which led me to my other channels, that led me to having 7 channels, that of all the people that I've met, you know, on YouTube, all the friends I've made, so many of you that I talk to on a regular basis in direct messages, you know, it's just like, I mean, just in kind of like a weird kind of way, like Mare, who has a YouTube channel, is well, hey Mare, I mean, she's constantly messaging me funny stuff and serious stuff and whatever, and so many of you guys do, and I'm just so grateful for it. It's like Marissa, like, you know, she's like, is moderator for a weather channel that I love, and she introduced me to the weather channels, which I love, but then, like, if there's bad weather, she'll be like, hey, you know, and she also messaging me stuff about TV shows and whatever. There's so many of you guys that do that, and just, I don't know, just the opportunities I've had and the things that, like, I've been exposed to that if I had never been on YouTube, like, books that I would never have known to read, shows that I definitely would have never watched, you know. I mean, it's crazy to think, like, Sister Wives is such a big part of my life now, but it is. It's coming back on the 20th. And to think about, like, certain shows that I've watched, you know, I used to talk about this with, like, BookTube. It's like, The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which is probably, that book probably is probably one of the top 5 books that affected me most in my life. I would never have, and also The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. I don't know that I would have ever heard of those 2 books. And Dumplin' by Julie Murphy, but I don't know if that was one of the top 5 books that's changed me. I don't know that I would have ever heard of those books necessarily if it wasn't for BookTube. I mean, they were being talked about so much on BookTube. I remember Jenna Claire, who was, I don't even know how I remember this, was a booktuber. I think she's like completely switched to what she does now and stuff like that, but she was doing, I don't even know if she's made videos in years or whatever, anyway, it's a mystery that I even remember her name, but I do. I can see her face in my head. And she was talking about The Hate You Give, and about, like, it being, like, one of her most anticipated reads, and that's how I heard about it, was from her. And so, if I wasn't following her, I would never have found the book. It's weird how things in the world work like that, you know, and then I've gone on to read other things by Angie Thomas, and I absolutely love her as an author and a writer. I think she's probably one of the most important writers of our time. And, all because, you know, of this woman that I became friends with, smoking a cigarette with at a fashion show that I ended up writing a book with, you know, for her with, and she published it. She doesn't even own the publishing company anymore. She was living in India at the time. She's not living there, you know, she lives in a completely different country. She's not married to that man anymore. She doesn't have the publishing company. So, you know, it's so strange how all that turns out. And I was saying this about this, like, that Jack's Gap video, you know, like, when you watch it, I think what was so significant about it to me was, you've always got to pay your bills and do all this kind of stuff and be aware of your family and your friends, but at the same time, if you're always chasing your dreams, they're going to lead you where you're supposed to be, you know? And I don't know, it was really profound kind of watching that to me. I thought he did a great job on that. He said he had sat down to try to make it. I mean, you could tell it was, like, really well put together. I mean, he's like an extraordinary editor, and that's nothing that I'm going to ever do. But I love just hearing people's stories. I've been watching, like, a lot of that. Well, I have been now for a while, but that Soft White Underbelly, I love the interviews they do on there. Yeah, so there's a lot of that. Oh, my neighbor just got home from somewhere. Her and her friend are looking at her flowers right now, and she's got a bag of flowers. I bet she went to some garden kind of thing. On Saturdays, they either go to, well, the farmer's market's not open yet. She's got like a plastic bag, and it's got like plants coming out of it. So she brings some like bags of like roots and stuff like that. Oh, there's more than friends. There's 2 friends. I was kind of wanting to find out what some of the HOA drama is, but I'm not doing. I know people be like, Peter, you should get up and play. They play tennis like 3 days a week at 9 o'clock. I'm not doing that. My shows and stuff are more important to me. So, what was I gonna say? So last night, what did we do last night? Oh, last night we sat down to watch TV. Alex had been watching the show, and so we sat down to watch TV. He was going to do something with his girlfriends, but that ended up, like, none of that ended up happening or whatever. So we ended up, I was like, what do you want to watch? And I was like, do you want to watch Atlanta? Because we've got 3 episodes of Atlanta yet. And he was like, no, I want to watch White Lotus. Let's finish White Lotus. I was like, okay. We were like laughing. I lit the candles. He was like, it really is nice down here with all the candles lit. Well, he used to have like girlfriends over and stuff like that back in the day. You better shut your mouth about Survivor, not ruin it for me. Her friend is like running the street. She's like, yeah, I'm caught up now. Trying to ruin Survivor for me. Her friend was like walking backwards like this. She goes, we're gonna, yeah. Alex had this one girlfriend. She actually got married, moved to California, they had a baby, and now she moved back here and she bought a log cabin in like near Bloomington, and where's IU. It's this beautiful cabin. But anyway, he has 2 friends that have cabins, because I was just like, as I was saying, I was like, because we're going to probably go to a cabin here in a couple weeks. A friend of ours, the ones that we travel with, the ones that Alex married and stuff like that, they bought like, well, they built a cabin and they're like Airbnb in it and stuff like that. So we're going down there like 3 couples, and we're going to stay there like overnight, like in a couple weeks or something. Alex told me that last night. So anyway, I was like, what's that noise? But the fireplace back in the day, like, you know, I mean, when it worked and it was fixed, I got a call now. Like, now's the perfect time to get the fireplace fixed. I know. So Alex would like just put all these candles inside of it. Caroline does that sometimes too. Do you know what I'm talking about, where you put candles inside the fireplace? And so she would come, before she moved to California, before she met this guy that she married and then divorced and all this kind of stuff, she would come over and they would like watch movies and whatever, and like he would like light these candles. I think it was like on nights that I would go to meetings or something like that. But anyway, we were talking last night about, because I was ordering all these plastic cups. I got to get rid of some of the cups that we have, and I was ordering more plastic cups last night. And so I was like, I'm going to order some of these like plastic, like this nice cups for outside, and then like we can do the back patio real nice. And I was telling Alex, and he was like, he got real excited about it. He's like, so we're going to make the patio really nice. I said, I want to. I said, I always say it and then I don't do it, but I really want to. Looks like our friend left. Anyway, he was like, I think that would be really, really fun. And I was like, yeah, like when you come home, like we could, you know, like you could have a glass of wine out there, and I could have like, you know, a little like Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper or something. I don't really drink Diet Coke. I mean, I do, but not at home. So anyway, we were talking about it last night, having all the plants and it being real bohemian and stuff like that. The thing is, part of it is that every time it rains, like at night, you have to take all the pillows in because the dew in Indiana, I mean, it's like really wet outside. So like everything is soaking wet the next morning. So you have to put everything away, which doesn't sound, it takes 5 minutes to do. But anyway, it'd just be kind of fun to just leave it out there and just be like, oh, walk out, you know. But anyway, what was I saying about the fireplace? Oh, so I lit all the candles last night and stuff like that. Because one night I was doing puzzles, and like I was talking, I had my like AirPods and I was listening to my audiobook, and I was doing puzzles, and I had all the candles lit in the kitchen and stuff like that. And he came down to get some water, and he scared the hell. I was like, oh my God. And he goes, and he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm doing puzzles with Nikki. And he was like, oh, the candles are so like pretty. He's like, I love it down here. So last night I lit the candles and the candle wax. He's like, I really like the candles. He's like, it makes it really cozy in here. So we did the candles last night, and we watched White Lotus. I want to do a reaction to it, so that'll probably be my video on Monday that I do on my Peter Watches TV channel. I'm probably going to take it a little easy today and tomorrow. I don't know, maybe tomorrow I'll film some videos. I'm just filming this today. But so there's like a lot going on. There's horns going off and they're talking along across the street. This is where it all comes out. I'm like getting all distracted. But anyway, so I want to do a reaction to White Lotus, but until then I'll just give like a really short one. I mean, it ends conclusively. The last 2 episodes were so slow. I mean, this season was slow anyway. People that have criticized it, they've criticized it for several reasons, kind of some of the storylines. But they've also said, first of all, you have to understand, the guy that writes it and directs it is like brilliant. If he's putting something in a show, there's a reason why he's putting it in there. It's not just for shock value. It's not just to make people disgusted. There's a reason he's putting it in there. And so this woman is backing out. So weird. Beautiful SUV though. So we watched it last night, but like there's so many like catchphrases and great conversations. So the last 2 episodes were just really slow. I just was kind of bored of it. The only thing is, and I'd seen the meme going around. So for any of the White Lotuses, that car horn is driving me nuts. Can you tell? I'm getting really distracted by that car horn. But anyway, I don't even think it's in our neighborhood. It sounds like outside of our neighborhood. There, it stopped. So White Lotus are these resorts, okay, if you don't know anything about it. So there's 3 seasons. This was the end of the 3rd season. So the 1st season takes place in Hawaii, okay? And it's like this White Lotus, which is like a 4 seasons hotel. And then it's like all these different people that come here. So it's like all these different people's stories, and then it's also the people that work at the resort too. So that's season 1. Jennifer Coolidge is in that one. Season 2 is about, it's like in Italy. And it's another White Lotus hotel resort. Jennifer Coolidge is in that one, okay? And then, but she's really the only repeat character from season 1 to season 2. And then there's, of course, all these different groups of people. There's like this dad and his grandson, a grandfather, I thought it was going off again. It was going to drive me crazy. This grandfather, his son, and his grandson, and they're all like trying to like figure out their genealogy and visiting the town they're from and stuff like that. And then there's like these like prostitutes that are working there and they're trying to like get out of Italy. And then there's all these different storylines that are going on there. Jennifer Coolidge is there and she's there with this guy that she met. Anyway, so that's the 2nd season. The 3rd season is in Thailand. And so it's like all these different people that come just to visit the White Lotus, which is like, again, like a 4 seasons hotel or like a nice resort, like the nicest resort, like in Thailand. And so the only carryover from it is there's a character from season 1 to season 3 that has kind of something to do with Jennifer Coolidge's storyline. So you could watch season 3 and not watch the previous seasons. I don't know why you would want to. They kind of build on each one, but you wouldn't have to. Like each one is separate. But by the 3rd one, you kind of understand the concept of what's going on, right? I think the importance is kind of that it's all these people that are on vacation. So conversations and things are going to happen differently when you're on vacation. But this season, there were 3 women that were really good friends. And they had been friends since like middle school or elementary school. And one of them was like a television star and she paid for the whole trip. And the other 2, like one was like this woman that like had worked in the corporate world and gotten divorced and all this kind of stuff. And seemed kind of like bitter throughout the whole show. And then the other one was like lived in Texas and was very conservative and very religious. But the 3 of them had been friends since middle school. So at the very end of it, they paint this picture that this one is like jealous of the other 2 the whole time. Which she kind of is. But there was a scene at the end and I loved what she said. I wanted to tell Tanya about this. She says to her friends, because they said, are you jealous? The one girl says, but are you jealous of her? Or something like that. And she's like, she looks at her and she says to the one friend, she says, like she's crying and she's like, I'm really happy that you have a pretty face. Basically meaning like your entire career is based off your pretty face. And then she says to her other friend, and she said, and I'm really happy that you have your beliefs, because she's talking about God and all this kind of stuff. And she said, you know, I don't know that I've ever believed in anything. She said, you know, like, I believed in love for a while and it failed me. I believed in my work and then that failed me. And then she goes through all these things and she goes, I don't know that I believe in anything. And she said, but what I do know is that, and she's talking about, that's when she says, but I'm happy that you have a beautiful face. And she says to her friend, like, I'm gonna get teary-eyed just thinking of it. I almost feel like some of these shows you have to be kind of a little bit older to, like, I don't know, I wouldn't have appreciated the same thing 10 years ago. And she says, and I'm glad that you have your beliefs. And she says, her line is, and I'm just, oh shit, I went into my text messages. And she said, and I'm just happy to be at the table. Meaning that it's just enough for her. Like she says at one point in this conversation, this monologue that she gives, she says, I don't care if we're just at the pool having a frivolous conversation about what we're going to drink or if we're fighting. She said, I'm just glad that we're all together, and it's all of it deep for me because of our history together. And she goes, and I'm just happy that I'm at the table. Meaning that I'm just happy that I'm here. Like, I'm just happy that I'm at the table. And I feel like so much about that in life, you know, that like, I just feel like with Tanya and I, it doesn't have to be whether we're laughing or whether we're crying or whatever. I'm just happy that she's there in my life, you know, and with my husband and with, you know, my sponsor and with my other friends and, you know, Nikki and Mel and Caroline and everybody. I'm just happy that I get to be a part of all of that, you know, and it's such this profound scene. That was really one of the only, I mean, there was a lot that happened in the last 2 episodes. They kind of rushed the last episode. I don't know. So we watched that last night, and then Alex had started. Well, I didn't know that he had started this yet. So, at that point, it was like almost 11. And he was like, do you want to watch Atlanta? Because he goes, we have 3 episodes of Atlanta. I said, no, we can save Atlanta for tomorrow night. I said, I'm not watching. I got to take a nap. I got to lay down. I said, because I want to watch my shows and I want to read a little bit tonight and stuff like that. So he was like, okay. So we turned everything off, blew the candles out, and we came upstairs. And I was like, are you going to bed? Because he was really tired. He goes, no, I think I'm actually going to start this show. So I fell asleep, and while he was watching the show, he started the show. He ended up staying up till like 3 o'clock watching the show last night. He's really into the law shows right now. So for those of you that do not know, my husband thought long and hard about going to law school and then just decided that he thought it was going to be too long. I always encourage him. I'm always like, babe, it's never too late to go to law school. He really, really wanted to go to law school. And so he'll bring it up every once in a while. I mean, I know that there's a huge difference between watching a show about lawyers and going to law school. Trust me, I understand it. But for a long time, he really wanted to go to law school, like was practicing the LSATs and stuff like that. And I've always encouraged him. He thought about going and getting his MBA for a while, too. And I was like, do it, you know? Like, I always encourage further education if you want to do it, you know? And he's like, well, how would we do it financially? I'm like, we'd figure it out. If that's what your dream is, to go to law school or get your MBA, he really has wanted to go to law school. And I said, if that's what your dream is, do it. We'll figure it out. We'll take less trips. We won't travel at all for a couple years, you know, and we'll do whatever we have to do, you know, like we'll figure it out. Like, do what you have to do. But anyway, then he's always like, no, it's like I was like, babe, when I was getting my master's degree, like, I thought at whatever I was at the time, I don't know, 26 to, I don't even know how old I was, 26, 27 when I started. I said, I think I graduated in 98, which means I would have been 27. So I started at 25 or something like that. I feel like maybe I graduated in 99. I don't know, the degree is right inside. But 26 or 27 was when I graduated. But I thought I was so behind because there were a lot of people in graduate school for social work that like did what is that program called? I can't remember what it's called. Where you go, oh, somebody tell me in the comment section below what it's called. When you go to bachelor's degree and then like, so like I came from an English degree, so I did 2 years of a master's degree, but it's where like you go into, it's not advanced standing, what's it called? When you go, like you finish your bachelor's in social work and then you start the master's program that summer and you just do one continuous year and then you graduate in a year. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Maybe they don't offer that at a lot of schools, but at IU, at Indiana University, they offered that as a program that you could do. Like I couldn't do that because I wasn't like a bachelor's in social work, but there were a lot of people that were like 22 that were getting their master's degrees in social work. But the other thing was, there were a lot of people that when I got my master's degrees, this was probably one of the coolest things about getting my graduate degree, was that there were people that were at the end of their careers that were starting a new career in social work, that were like 65, that were in graduate school. And I loved being in school with them because they had a completely different perspective, you know? They had life experience that I did not have at 26 years old. You know, they had all kinds of life experience, and it was so fun having them in class for class discussions. I probably learned 100 times more from them than I did even from my professors, you know? So I've always encouraged him to go back to school if he wants to go back to school. So, you know, I don't know. We'll see. I think he doesn't miss the studying. So Alex was a double major of marketing and Spanish. So he was a double major in college. I think he doesn't miss, that was it for me. Like when my mom said, well, you can always go and get your PhD. And I was like, I'm done. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like getting my master's degree was enough. But anyway, so we went upstairs. So he loves like these law shows, right? You would think that like, I think very rarely, you know, people ask me for suggestions for TV shows all the time. And so the battery just went to the halfway mark. So you would think that like all the people in my life, like I tell them a TV show. Well, first of all, I can't tell Tanya a TV show because she's already watched it. Nikki, she'll say, oh, I'll watch it. And then it's like 3 weeks later, she's watched it. Mel and I watch completely different shows. Caroline, she watches what she wants. Caroline's probably the only person that really listens to me, or we watch kind of the same shows at the same time. But like Alex, like I can recommend a show to him. Well, vice versa, because Alex and Mel have very similar tastes in TV. Like they both love the Dexters, they both love the U's and all that kind of stuff, all that kind of dark stuff, which I'm going to try this summer. So anyway, maybe I'll start Dexter. I got to start a new show. Maybe I'll start Dexter tonight. Maybe I should do that. That'd probably make Alex and Mel very happy. But if I recommend a show to Alex, like very rarely will he like watch it. I recommended Paradise to him, and he just was like, it was good. He was like, but it wasn't like, you know, I thought it was fantastic, you know? So anyway, so I woke up last night from my nap. I don't know what time it was. It was like 12:30, 12:45 or something like that. Oh my God, I took such a great nap last night. And he is like on it on this show. He's like, so I said to him, I got up and I brushed my teeth and I washed my face, as I do, before I go down and watch my show. So I'm all like feeling, you know, all clean, stuff like that. So anyway, I was in the bedroom and was throwing my clothes and whatever. And I was like, what are you watching? And he was like, The Good Wife. And I go, and so many people have told me to watch The Good Wife. And he goes, I go, how did you hear about that? Did one of your friends like tell you like to watch it? He's like, no, from TikTok. He was like, said something about some TikTok that he saw. I can't remember how he said it, but I think it was like one of the top 5 like law shows to watch or something like that. I go, oh, I know all about that show. He goes, how do you know about The Good Wife? And I go, does it take place in Chicago? And he goes, yeah, I think. And he's like, I've only watched like 3 episodes. He goes, how do you know where it takes place? And I go, because Elsbeth Tassioni is on it. He goes, who? I started laughing so hard. I go, my show Elsbeth is a spinoff from The Good Wife. I said, so everybody's told me to watch The Good Wife, but I've never watched it. So anyway, he was like, well, it's good. He's like, I really love it. He loves any show. How many seasons does it have? He loves any show that has like 20 seasons. He'll probably have it done by tomorrow night. He can't wait to watch it tonight. I was like, are you going out with your girlfriends? He's like, no, I'm going to watch Elsbeth and stuff like that. So he ran over to go visit did I tell you this already? He ran over to go visit his mom and his grandma while I was vlogging and stuff like that. And then he's coming back and we're going to watch Atlanta. And then he's like, and then I'm going to watch, I'm going to stay up all night. I'm going to watch this. Oh, he's got tomorrow. He's got this, so one of his friends, you know, he's got 4 girlfriends that are engaged. One of them's getting married in September. And so she went wedding dress shopping with like her, like, well, they're not doing maid of honors and all that kind of stuff, but she, with like her, like, who would be that, and like her family. And so she picked out like 3 dresses. And so tomorrow she's going with like her girlfriends and like her sisters and stuff like that. And she wants Alex to be there because like Alex is like her best friend. So they're doing that, but Alex said it's like at 11 because he was like, we'll be done in time to go to brunch. And I was like, babe, if you want to skip brunch and go, because I'm sure they'll do something afterwards. I was like, I can skip brunch on a Sunday so you can. He was like, no, I'll be back in time to go to brunch. I was like, okay, well, if you guys change your mind and you guys want to go, I mean, if you're going bridal dress shopping, like that's a big deal. He's like, no, she's already picked out. So when we were on vacation, he was like FaceTiming her. She picked out the dress and, so she had it on and like they were all like, it's beautiful, it's beautiful, it's beautiful. And like, so I said, well, let me see her. And so like he like showed the video and we have very similar stories. She and I, her mom has passed away. And so she looked so beautiful in her dress. And I just was like, your mom, she would think you were so, anyway, it just was like, she started crying and I started crying. And it just was like this moment. I'm so happy for her, you know, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful in this dress that she picked out. So she's got like 3 dresses that she's picked out. But, so they're doing that tomorrow. I was like, if we don't do brunch, it's totally fine. You know, if you go do something with your friends. And he was like, well, we don't have anything planned afterwards, but I'm sure that they'll be like, let's go have brunch. So anyway, so that's tomorrow, but he has to be there, I think, at 11. So he's like, tonight after we watch Atlanta, he was like, we have RuPaul's Drag Race to watch too, because that was on last night. But it's kind of like a spinoff from like the normal season, because next week is the finale. So last night was it's like this lip sync extravaganza and all this kind of stuff. So I think this is going to stop in like 5 or 10 seconds. So I'm going to go get another battery right at the hour mark. Is it about to stop? Oh yeah, got like 2 seconds until. Okay, I'm back. The camera stopped, I went inside, got another battery. Now I'm back here to finish up the vlog. I have no idea how much longer I'm gonna vlog. But anyway, so Alex ran over to his mom's house to see his, I think his aunt and uncle are like on a date or out of town for the night or something like that, because his grandma and his cousin are over at his mom's house. So, I was like, if you want to wait till I get done vlogging. He's like, I don't want to be over there that long. He was like, I want to see them. He was like, and then I want to come back and I want to watch shows and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. So he's like, this works out perfect. He's like, I'll go see them. And he was like, and then when I come back, you'll be done with your vlog and then we can watch our shows and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to watch, we probably won't finish RuPaul and Atlanta. So we'll probably watch some of it tomorrow night, whichever one. I would rather watch RuPaul first and then Atlanta. Is he grilling out there? Somebody's grilling. I can smell it. It smells good. But then he was like, well, I want to get back and watch The Good Wife tonight, because he's loving it. Let's see how many seasons The Good Wife is. The Good Wife. How much is Elsbeth in it? Is she like just like a spin-off character? Wikipedia. The spin-off, The Good Fight, cast. I'm not seeing Elsbeth Tassioni. Oh, I know how I know it. So Nikki was I telling Nikki about this last night? I was, because she said she loves Alan Cumming. She thinks he's so good looking. I know. She loved him on Traitors. But, 7 seasons. Oh God, he'll be, like, it'll be all, the next 3 days will be, why is Darlene Jolene Joe making an appearance? Get underneath the hat, girl. So, I wore the hoodie today so that I could make a gray hoodie apology. I'm so sorry for being so fantastically good looking. As if with Darlene Jolene Joe picking out. I kind of do though sometimes, like, when I see like guys that have like longer hair and like in their hats, like it like comes out, but my hair's so straight that it wouldn't do that. I do kind of think, like I should. Somebody sent me this picture the other day. People send me pictures all the time. They tell me I already look like him. What's his name? Paul Hollywood, I think is his name. Is that the guy's name? I try to be so nice in my DMs, but I know the person that probably sent this to me is probably watching this right now. Is that who it is? Yeah, Paul Hollywood. So this is who people tell me that I look like, okay? First of all, I think he's like 59, so thank you for aging me up. But anyway, I think he's a good looking guy. But they sent me this picture of him and they said, that's the haircut that that haircut would look so good on you. And I wanted to say, I'm perfectly fine with my haircut, the Heat Miser, but thank you so much. I mean, this is kind of like, Paul Hollywood's haircut is kind of giving me like 1995, like spiky, like a little bit. I don't know, like I'm not into all that. But I have thought about not growing my hair out like long, like this, but like longer, you know what I mean? Like longer than it is now. Like I don't really know how to explain it. If I say something like how I would describe it, people will just laugh their asses off at me. So I don't really know how to explain it, but just longer, you know? Maybe just not as short as it is. But I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. So tonight we're going to watch those shows. Oh, last night I didn't even talk about what I did. So I got up and then he was watching The Good Wife. So I was like, okay, went downstairs. So my plan was originally that I was going to finish Elsbeth and Matlock. Okay? Or I was going to watch an episode of Elsbeth and an episode of Matlock. Here's my thing with Matlock. If you're watching it, there's this backstory. The backstory makes me very nervous, okay? I don't like watching shows. It makes me nervous from the point of view of, like, you think every episode she's going to get caught. We're nearing the end of the season. I think next week might be the finale. So it's going to have to happen, one of these episodes, if it hasn't happened already. I haven't watched the last 2 episodes. So, unless it's just not going to happen at all, I'll be honest with you, like, I like the backstory of it, but it kind of reminds me of Found a little bit, where they have the backstory of Sir that kidnapped her. So the backstory of Matlock is, and you find out in the first, like, half an hour of the first episode, so I'm not ruining it for anybody, but it's that their daughter died from an overdose. It's very similar to, like, Purdue Pharma and Oxycontin. And so, like, the lawyers covered it up. So she goes to work for this law firm trying to find out who covered it up because she wants to blame that person for it, right? But every episode, it's like they're solving, like, they're not solving a case. They're, like, have this lawsuit. But then the backstory is her, like, sneaking around. It makes me nervous. I don't like watching shows like that. I love the show Matlock, but I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of like at a point of like DNFing it, like do not finishing it, because that just makes me too nervous, in all honesty. I'm not enjoying what, it's been carried on for so long at this point. Like, I understand it's the backbone of the story, but like, I feel like we should be further along than that. I don't know. I can't watch 5 seasons. Every episode I watch makes me so anxious. It makes me so nervous. So anyway, I was like, I'm not watching Matlock tonight. I'm watching Elsbeth. See? That was hard for me to stand up to Matlock. It was to Maddie Matlock. So last night I watched, I was going to read last night. But then by the time that, like, Nikki and I were talking on the phone, we talked on the phone for so long, I was like, I'm not going to read, I'm just going to watch shows. So I ended up watching both episodes of Elsbeth. And then I ended up watching, like, what did I do last night? What else did I watch? Maybe I got up later than that. I don't remember. I ended up watching... Let me go into my shows and see. My weekly TV shows. I watched Elsbeth. The 2 episodes of Elsbeth. And then I watched... Why can't I remember? Oh, I watched like 4 episodes of Ghost. I'm almost done with Ghost, 4 seasons. Well, caught up. Because I think there's like 4 episodes left from this season. I'm almost caught up with this season. Ghost was making me real nervous, too. I was watching the Christmas ones from last night. Well, I got past that. But the Christmas ones from season 4, the Christmas ones and the Halloween ones are always a big deal on Ghost because of, like, all the stuff that happens. But they get, like, it's like possession stuff. But it always makes nervous. I don't like shows where, like, you know, it's like they're trying... Nancy, like, I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but there's, like, a possession thing that happens on Christmas. Ghost is so fantastic. I love it so much. So then I ended up... God, did I watch maybe 5 episodes of Ghost I watched a lot of episodes of Ghost last night. And then I went to bed. I can't see his grill. I feel like he's doing something with his grill, but I can't see it. It's got to be him. Because they don't have their grill's in their back patio. And then I went to bed. Yeah, and today, I just was like, you know what? I'm just going to film my vlog, and that's what I'm going to do today. So that's what I'm doing today. And then we're going to watch our shows tonight. And I really, really, really would like to finish my audiobook. Finish the For You audiobook. Who was it that said something on my vlog? I think it was Stacy that said that she was saving her Goodreads rating until I'd finished it to see what I thought. Like, then that leads me to think that I'm going to think differently at the very end of the book. So my goal for this beginning of this week is to get back heavy into walking too, because I haven't really been doing a whole lot of that since I've been back. So getting back into walking starting on Monday. I feel like I have a lot to do. Tuesday we have couples counseling, and it's early, so I'm going to get up early on Tuesday to film. Because we usually have couples counseling at 6, but I think we have it at 5. Because when I had my therapy session on Thursday, I asked him, I said, when's our couples counseling session? I think he said 5, which means I have to leave here at 4. Which means I have to start getting ready here at 3. Which means that's usually when I start filming. Well, it will just, listen. Like April, I have decided, like I did in March, in February. April, I am just going to take it easy breezy. I'm going to film my vlog every day, but other than that, if I feel like filming 7 videos, I feel like filming 7 videos. If I don't feel like filming any videos other than my vlog, then I'm not going to press myself too hard about it. And I'm just going to kind of like, and then in like May, I'm just going to be like, here we are, we're back, we got this. Because I got to figure some things out with some of my channels and whatever, you know? And, yeah, so. But during April, I think I'm just going to kind of take it easy breezy a little bit. We'll see. I always kind of like in the summer, like in the warmer months, it's easier for me to be like super, super motivated and inspired because it's like I have the pool. So I'll be like, okay, I want to film these videos and go to the pool and then come back and film these videos. Or like I plan it out in my head or film one late at night, you know? So like going into the summer, it's like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like kind of like coming out of hibernation a little bit. I don't know, next week I'll probably film 7 videos every single day. But, so anyway, so tonight I would like to, the tripod fell. And then it like fell again, like right after I got it up. And I'm worried it's gonna, tonight my goal is to finish the audiobook, and then I would like to get a little bit more read of the 4th book in the Life as We Know It, Knew It series. I don't even know what it's called. Hold on a second, let me pull it up. Nikki's reading it too. Nikki is not loving it, and I'm not loving it. It's just completely different. It's called The Shade of the Moon. It's the last one in the series. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It's told by her younger brother, Johnny, and it's like 2 years down the road, and it's a completely different story. I don't know, I'm just not as attached to the characters as I was in the first 3. I think it's an interesting choice that she did it. So I'd like to read more of that tonight, because I'd like to finish that in the next couple days. And I definitely want to finish the audiobook tonight, because I'd like to start the James Patterson and the recovery books, because I'd like to get some of those done this week, and then have the rest of the month to just like listen on Audible to whatever I want. I think I bought something. Oh, I did buy a couple audiobooks the other night. You guys want to know what I bought? Not started. Okay, so somebody recommended The Age of Miracles to me, so I bought that. On What Grounds is the book 1 in the Cozy Mystery series. The Last Bookstore on Earth somebody recommended to me. You Killed Me First by John Mars. I think Mel read that. Nuclear War by Annie Jacobson is like a scenario book. It's supposed to be fantastic. Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey is like getting huge praise right now. This Book Will Bury Me, Ashley Winstead. Tender as the Flesh by Augustino Bazterrica. Nick Sheff, We All Fall Down. That's the book for April, for Recovery Book Month. And then I have the 3, London Bridges, Mary, Mary, and Cross. And then I have Dungeon Crawler Carl. You know what's interesting is that when I said that I got that on here, a couple people were like, you're not going to like that book. But like I was talking about Ready Player One. I loved Ready Player One. And people are kind of comparing it to that a little bit. So we'll see. Should I go and read a couple comments? I haven't done that for a while on my vlog. Let's go in and read some comments. Okay. If cauliflower is the first one, I mean, like, that is just bizarre. Because she always says, no, it's not. Brittany said, I've noticed I start feeling more anxious and low energy at the start of a new season. It's really weird because I love spring and summer. But my mind starts spiraling about how the nice weather is just starting and I need to be outside enjoying it or doing this activity or that activity because I'll be sad and I didn't when the season ends. And then, okay, I totally relate to that. I really do. I was talking to Alex last night about, like, I don't really know. I've struggled this week readjusting, coming back from vacation. And I don't know if it's because we were gone for so long. You know, Alex was like, well, maybe it's the weather, because one day to the next, the weather is different, you know? Maybe it is. I don't know. I've just been really, really struggling this week. I think you guys know that. I said it in one vlog. It's just like one day to the next, I don't really know how I'm going to feel. You know, I was saying on here that that during April, I'm going to kind of take it easy breezy. But tomorrow I may wake up and film 5 videos, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, it's like every day I feel completely different. There's no, like, baseline. It's just like every day I feel so different. I don't know what it is, you know? I will say this. I didn't feel as anxious when I woke up today as I have. I felt pretty relaxed. I will say this also, though. I did a lot of very, like, conscious talking to my higher power last night and just kind of, like, sat and just, like, talked a lot last night. Which that's always healthy for me. Whether it's, you know, it's like it's a true thing or a faith or it's just positive affirmations about things in my life. But it always kind of centers me a little bit. So, yeah. But thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that, Brittany. Karis said your hostages will probably start coming in better a little after Easter, like the start of May. They're going to look so pretty. I hope so. I'm really worried. Okay, let me just show you. And I haven't weeded any of this, so just back off with the criticisms. Okay, so right here you can see So there's supposed to be, it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's supposed to be 5 on either side. So you can see right here, it's 1. Okay, I don't know where the hostas are right here. There's no hostas coming up. There's supposed to be 1 right here. That'll be the second one. Then this would be the third one. And then this would be, you can see this one's coming up. Hey, how are you? You can see this one's right here. This is the fourth one. And then this one's not coming up yet. You can see it's kind of coming up there a little bit. So that's the fifth one. And then over here, next to this beautiful dandelion, you can see there's 1. Then this one's not coming up at all yet. 2, 3. That one's so pretty. 4. And then 5. So, I don't know why some of them are coming up full and some of them aren't. I kind of wanted them all to kind of be the same size, but I'll be honest with you, after reading the Margaret Wrinkle book. Oh, that's the other thing. I need to get back into the Margaret Wrinkle book, and I need to late migrations. And I haven't really read any of that since I got back. I think maybe 1. And then I also need to get back into the Edge of Collapse book. That's my other goal for tonight. Maybe I'll just sit out here after I get done vlogging and just read for a little bit until he's ready to watch some shows. Yeah, but I'm hoping that goes well. Also, no squirrels ate my food last night. But thank you for that, Karis. I'm like, I'm hoping that will, I'm hoping that the hostas will come up. You know, like in 2 weeks, I'll probably be like, oh my God, look, the hostas are huge. And then it's like, I'll forget that I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to trust the process. But thank you for that. Rebecca said, I really enjoyed you interacting with your neighbors. Y'all sound like it would be so much fun to hang out at the pool with y'all. I'm glad you were able to start feeling better. Your laugh is infectious to me that I start, aw, you're so sweet. My neighbor next door, she is so fun to go to the pool with. The other thing is, like, she'll go to the pool like 3 times a day. Like, she goes up there before I ever get up, like at 10 in the morning. And then if I want to go up there later, she'll be like, okay, let me finish this. And then we'll go up there at night. She'll be like, are we going to go up there at night? So it's so fun. And she don't care about nobody at the pool. It's just like, I mean, she does. Like, we get talking about the drama and stuff like that. But she don't let them bother her. You know what I mean? And she's a really fun neighbor because she's kind of up for anything. And, you know, I mean, she gets into the neighborhood stuff, like, a lot. Probably even more than I do for being her. I mean, she's 31. She'll be 32. And so, like, she really gets into it a lot. But she is so much fun. And her and Alex get along fantastically, too. So yeah. So I love her. Now, my neighbor across the street, she doesn't really go to the pool. She says because the kids pee in it too much. That's why she went on the pool. My neighbor in the corner, and then the woman next to her, they're the pool crew ladies. And then my neighbor next door, she does. She takes her grandkids to the pool. But I didn't really see her a whole lot there, but she said this summer they're going to go a lot. So, hopefully, I can't wait for the pool. I'm getting everybody to go to the pool this summer. Up here, Stacy said, I found you on Goodreads, but I won't say until you're done. I just finished All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I will tell you, I gave it 5 stars. I love her, and I hope she writes more books. Why do I feel like I have that? All the Dangerous Things. Let me see if I have that on Audible already. All the Dangerous Things. Do I have that already? Oh, it's in my library. Should I start that next? Is that what you're saying, Stacey? Okay, I'm going to screenshot it. It's in my library already. Can I tell you what is so funny? Is that I have told everybody to read The Wedding People. Nikki was texting me. Oh, she said, time to listen to The Wedding People. That was last night. And then Caroline texted me today, 10:23, as if I was up. Come on, Caroline. Listening to The Wedding People and loving it. And I said, so good. It is so good. And then people were giving me recommendations. Anna said about, like, what to do with, like, the crate and the bed, Boo and Tucker and PP stuff. We've had different dogs over 27 years, and we reuse crates and beds. We didn't reuse stuff that had a certain attachment to the other dogs, but crates and certain beds, yes, I say reusing is okay. I think that's you guys mostly said the same thing. I have to tell you, I've had 2 nights in a row a dream that, oh, you know what I'm wondering now? Because it's kind of what that woman's dog looked like that I saw the other day. But last night and the night before, I had a dream that I had this little gray dog that had kind of like, his head kind of looked like a little Schnauzer dog, but not really. But he was real little. It was like this little gray dog that had kind of like little triangle ears. So then I'm like, is that because I always, like, in my prayers, when I always, like, talk about, like, my gratitude list and my prayers at night, I always say that I'm grateful for Boo and Tucker and Pee-Pee and the time that we had with them and everything and the joy they brought us. But I also, like, pray to my higher power about whatever, like, dog is supposed to be put in our path next, whatever dog we're supposed to get next and things like that. Which is definitely not this dog right here that is walking in front. I see you. Hey, how are you?
Good.
You have shoes on today. I'm so proud of you.
Still too cold. As soon as it warms up.
It's too cold.
As soon as it warms up, I want to. Are you taping? Sorry.
I am. I can stop it. Do you need to talk to me about something?
No.
Are you having a good day?
Yeah. I just didn't want to be bothered.
Did you guys get the garage done yet?
No. We're getting close.
You're getting close.
I got to paint the ceiling still. Oh, I've got some of that paper stuff that you can put underneath your mulch.
Like she had over there?
It's a little different, but it's the same kind of.
Does it work?
I put some in the back. Seems to be doing okay.
I have a whole roll of it in the garage.
That's what I got a roll of. So. If you want to use it, you can.
Okay, I appreciate that. I might.
That way you don't have to fight it.
I was just talking about my hostas, hoping that they come up evenly this year.
It will. For sure.
You have so much faith.
Those are like, I don't know how you kill them.
What, the hostas?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. We have them in back, too.
What's that?
We have them in back, too.
Yeah. I haven't seen you in the back very much.
We don't really go out there as much anymore because of, like, Boo's not here anymore. But this summer, we're redoing the back. We're not redoing it, but I'm going to make it real pretty back there. So you guys will have to come over for drinks and stuff.
Well, Vicky was talking about the field or whatever. Just meeting on the part in the driveway.
Well, that's what she said, yeah, yesterday. So what if all get together and we'll have to do a pitch and we can bring something. Which means you guys can all cook and we'll bring chips. So
No meat. Right?
no meat, no meat.
Except for Alex.
The last time she made those vegetarian things that were so good.
Yeah. Good. Oh, I'm tired.
You're tired.
Yeah.
Time for a nap.
Too much exercise. All right.
He looks like he's tired too. He said, Dad, I don't want to go inside yet.
That's the truth.
Aww.
He's been getting up at 3 in the morning, so it's been rough.
You know what? It's interesting because I've heard him out there like later, and I was like, is he getting up at different times now? I mean, I'm sitting there watching TV. I wouldn't hear it otherwise. But I'm like, is he getting up at different times now or something like that?
He sleeps more. But I don't know what it's lately, but he gets up at like 3 and 4 and 4, 5 to go out.
How old is he?
5.
Aww.
He's like a baby.
He is like a baby. He's like a big baby.
Definitely spoiled. I think the COVID thing where we were around
Yeah.
constantly. Definitely had him whining when he shouldn't.
Aww. He hears you talking about him. Look at him. He's like, no, we're going down this way.
No, we're going in, buddy.
He's like pulling him to go in. He's
He
like,
doesn't walk as far as he come on, man.
oh, he just sat down. He said, no, I'm sitting right here. Have a good one. What was I was reading some comment. Now I don't even remember what it was. Somebody said, no flowers. Peter, have you ever thought that when you film that many videos to schedule some of the videos a couple days ahead of the uploads for not all? So, okay, so you can like schedule videos, like when I'm going on vacation, if I pre-film videos, I schedule them to go up on a certain day and time. I do think about that. But I'll be honest with you, I get so excited that I'm like, I'm just going to post them and people can watch them when they want to. I don't really, like, I'm not one of those people that thinks about like, You know, I don't really think about the views a lot. I mean, like, every once in a while I'll just be like, oh, that video didn't, like, really nobody watched it or whatever. That's why I was saying that, like, I think when I post a lot of videos, people don't consistently watch them, which is what she's responding to. And I appreciate that. Thank you. But I'm not somebody that thinks about, like, you know, like, I know people that are like, they look up every article and every video about what's the perfect time to post and when's the algorithm hit them. I don't care. I'm like, my videos are up. If people want to watch them, they're going to watch them. You know what I mean? I've just kind of been like that about, like, that's just been kind of my attitude about a lot of things in life, that I'm not really big into having this contrived. I mean, maybe it would be smarter for me too, from like a business point of view. I mean, I know people that are like, they look up SEO rankings and, you know, what tag words to use and what time to post a video, what's the best day and time to post a video and all that kind of stuff. Like when I was talking to this YouTube manager, she was like, do you realize that the best time for you to post on your drama channel, and she said something like 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. based on my viewers, and like, because you can see like when your viewers are there and stuff like that. And I just kind of like laughed. I think I said that already. Something, I think that's the time she said, 1 to 6 or 12 to 6 or something like that. I was like, okay, first of all, I'm not up yet. You know, I mean, I could like pre-film the video and then post it for that time the next day. I don't know. I just don't think a lot about that stuff. In all honesty, you're not the first person that said that to me. I've had a lot of people say that to me. I mean, I've thought about that. I've thought about like maybe like pre-filming, you know, 4 Peterisms videos and spacing them out during the week. I don't know. I just am like, I film it and then I'm just like, well, I'm just going to throw it up. If it's 11 o'clock at night, it's 11 o'clock at night. If it's 2 in the morning, somebody will watch it. If they don't watch it now, they'll catch it tomorrow or the next. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There's an aspect of YouTube that probably one of the reasons why I'm not as, like, financially, viewership, subscriber-wise, as successful as other people is because I don't think that way when it comes to, like, oh my lord, like thumbnails. My thumbnails suck. I know that. I don't edit. Like, a lot of, like, what words you put in your titles, like for SEO rankings and things like that, when you should post it, what times you should post it, you know, pandering to like what your audience is. I know what my audience is, 90% women. I know that, you know what I mean? It's probably higher than that. I just love to do this. To me, when I've had those conversations with other YouTubers out there, I kind of am like, they'll be like, and what I do is, and I'm like, and I'm kind of like, I could care less. Like, do I think that it would probably make my channel more successful? I'm sure. My channels? I'm sure it would. I'm sure if I hired people to do my thumbnails and I hired editors and like all these people act like, oh, it's like so long. Most people hire editors and hire thumbnails. I know like 1 or 2 people that do that stuff on their own. Like very few people do that stuff on their own. Most people hire people for that. I'm not hiring anybody to do that stuff. If I thought it would make an astronomical difference, I mean, maybe. If I thought, like, I don't know, like, I've always just wanted to film. I've always just wanted to, like, talk on camera, you know? Like, that's just what I love. And if I thought that, at the same time, like, I am a believer, like, I've said this for a long time, you know, that when people say I don't care about the views, that's not what I'm saying, because I think all people care about the views, because if you get more views on a video, it means more people are watching your video, and that's a cool thing, right? So I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, I've never been consumed with the views. I'm aware of the views. I'm aware of, like, if I do a video about Tammy Slayton and it gets 6,000 views, don't nobody want to hear about Tammy Slayton. If I do a video about Jeffree Star and it gets 30,000 views, people want to, which I haven't had one of those views on my drama channel in a while, and people want to hear about Jeffree Star, you know? I'm fully aware of those kinds of things. If I did, here's just for an example, okay? I'm very aware that when I put HOA drama in a title on my vlog, I get more views on a vlog. If I do a vlog title where it's like, I can't believe this happened, or we need to really talk, and I'm like, and I look so sad on my vlog, which I literally just go through and I screenshot something. It's really not that, like, calculated. I know that that vlog is going to get more views. I could do these exaggerated titles and thumbnails for every one of my vlogs. Look at my vlog titles, you know? There are things like, I mean, what did I call yesterday? Something like, I mean, catch-up vlog. I mean, they're not, I mean, I've had so many people tell me, what was yesterday's called, my vlog? I don't even remember. hold on, let's look and see. Yesterday's a different kind of day. Woo! I mean, I've had so many people, what was the day before? I feel off today. You know, I mean, I've had so many people that have been like, you should make yourself look like you're doing this and, you know, like you, whatever. And I'm like, I'm not doing all that. Like, I just like to film videos, you know? Yeah, I would love if I got 1 million viewed videos. I would love that. That would mean that more people are watching my videos and, you know, that would make me so happy, right? But I'm also not, it's not that I don't care about the views, because I do. I do care about the views, and I've said it for a long time. Anybody that makes videos that says I don't give a shit about the views is a liar. Because you want people to watch your videos. If you didn't, why are you making videos to begin with, right? At the same time, I'm not into tricking the system. I'm not into coming up with, like, my video coming up. I mean, and maybe I would be smarter if I was. You know, maybe my channel would be more successful. It just seems like that's a lot of time and energy spent on things that I'm not that interested. I don't want to, like, you know, I've known people that have, like, titled their videos, I mean, you talk about clickbait, you know, they'll do a video that's a story time, and they'll call it something, I don't even know what a trending topic is right now, but if I, like, looked online, I could see. But, like, let's just say if hostas were a trending topic, you know, they call it, like, my new hostas, just to get it trending, and then they get views off of it, but their video has nothing to do with trending, but just to bring people. I think that's like tricking the system. I don't think there's anything wrong with looking up SEO rankings and what words to tag your videos and what words to put in your titles and what kind of thumbnails to use. I think that's probably smart. I just don't want to I'd rather spend that time filming videos and hopefully people find me and they like me than spending 30% of my time doing all that. If there was a way for me to spend 10% of my time doing that, and then improving my videos a little bit, then I would do that, you know? I also don't want to spend a lot of money on having somebody else come in. The other thing is, like, because people are like, well, how people edit your videos? You have to wait for that stuff. I film a video and an hour later, it's up and published. If you have an editor, you gotta wait 24 hours for that video to come back to you. If you got a thumbnail that somebody's gonna make for you, you gotta wait at least a couple hours. So then you're just sitting around here, you know? I'm like, nah, I don't care about all that kind of stuff. Plus, I will tell you on my drama channel, some of my videos that I have put my YouTube, like I put thumbnails together that in 2 seconds, like, have done 100 times better than the ones that I've spent a lot of time and energy putting thumbnails together that I think are pretty good thumbnails. I also see people that have, like, really horrific thumbnails that get fantastic views. So do I think that it has everything to do with thumbnails and titles? No. Do I think it has a little bit to do with that? Yeah, absolutely. I could probably spend more time on it, but you were asking me about the scheduling. I just like filming the videos, and when I get done with them, I want to post them if people want to watch them. You know, back in the day on BookTube, you know, it's interesting because now a lot of channels will post 2 and 3 videos a day on their channel, and I don't really do that anymore. But when I started, like, on my BookTube channel and on my drama channel later, if you guys remember the early days of me doing drama videos, I would post 2 and 3 videos. I called them two for Tuesdays. I would post 2 and 3 videos on my drama channel. I can remember even Trisha Paytas came out one time and she said, who films 3 videos on a channel? Well, now she did it later, and a lot of people have done it. A lot of people do it to this day. Nobody was doing it when I was doing it. People were criticizing me for doing it. And I'm not saying I'm a genius. I just did it because I wanted to put the information out there. I was having fun doing it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I was trying to, I mean, the reason I don't do it today is because, in all honesty, like, my drama videos, they go way too long. I do know that. I gotta slow those down a little bit. Maybe make them 20 minutes instead of 50 minutes, but I don't know. I don't know what, you know, listen, tell me what to do with my channels and I'll fix it, you know? But the scheduling thing, I just like, you're probably right, but I just like putting them up when I have them done, you know? But thank you for that anyway, I appreciate it. Sarah said, hey, Peter and Alex, hopefully you're having a better, magically amazing Friday. Sending love from the UK. Oh, thank you so much. Sally said, oh my God, Peter, no, we wanted to see you eat cheesecake in the woods. Please make sure you do that at some point. We definitely want to watch. I will do that. Oh my God, the amount of people that said they didn't know the knuckle thing or the rhyme about the months cracked me up. I thought I was literally the only person that didn't remember that. So many people said they didn't know about it. Anna said, I am 32 and I remember going to Blockbuster and renting 3 or 4 movies to watch during the weekend. 3 or 4? How about 3 or 4 a night? Tanya Jean. Okay, so Tanya Jean, how much of this do I want? Okay. Caroline's stepson and his wife, they worked at Blockbuster. She was his manager, and that's how they met there. He was assistant manager. So they met through Blockbuster. They, to this day. Tanya always, she would call him, I think she called him my nephew or something like that. We would go in there after meetings, and we would see them because they worked at the Blockbuster by Tanya. And so we would see him and his wife. And so, I mean, this was probably the 2 years before Blockbuster closed. I can remember Tanya and I going into Blockbuster. We go to Blockbuster, then we go to the grocery store, get our books, get our treats and stuff like that for the night. We would go to Blockbuster, and she loved it. And I will never forget when that Blockbuster closed. It was like one of the last Blockbusters in Indiana to close, too. And she was like, oh my God, she goes, I'm never going to see them again. Because they would always, like, when we would come in there, be like, Peter, Tanya. To this day, they still love Tanya, you know? And so it's so funny. I don't know why I just thought about this, but Caroline and her husband met while working at Applebee's. And he was the manager and she was the bartender. And her stepson and his wife met at Blockbuster, both chains. I think that's kind of funny, don't you? Anyway, I don't know why. But, so we loved it. Tanya and I would go the whole store and look at all of the new videos in Blockbuster. Do you remember you'd like call and be like, can you hold this for me? It just came out today, because they'd have like 10 copies of it and stuff like that. The red box never really was the same, you know? It never really felt the same. So anyway, those were the days, my friend. All right, well, I'm going to get off here now. It's a little bit longer vlog than I've done the last couple days. A little bit longer, doing the robot. And, yeah, so I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys are having a magically amazing Saturday and a fantastic weekend. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.